I want to finish these 7 phases of divine development, because as we move forward, it's important to understand the different stages that God takes us through, because when we can understand the different stages, we know what to do, we know how to respond. Because many of us, we miss what God is doing, so we don't know how to respond. So when things come up, we completely miss the lesson. We think it's what it's not. We miss the lesson, and then we're asking God, but why is this happening? Because we don't understand the patterns and the precepts and the principles of God. Because if we understood them, we would see when things come up. We would be able to discern the times, the seasons. We would just know what to do and how to respond in that particular season. Because we have to understand that God doesn't waste anything. The waiting, the wilderness, the rejection, the closed door, the years that nobody... I keep hearing stories, because, I talk about, there's this number of people. And I was listening to the senior pastor of KICC, Pastor Matthew, and he says he began his church and they were just 11 people. Just 11 people. The whole church was in the back of his car. He started with 11 people. He said that he never imagined that his church would be on 24 acres of land with 12 buildings. He started with 11 people. The same with Bishop T.D. Jakes. He had 10 people in his congregation, I think for 5 to 10 years. Just 10 people. Just 10 people. But look at what he was able to achieve and build. And so everybody, the best of the best, go through wilderness, go through waiting, go through rejection, go through closed doors. There is no years that is wasted. No years. Every experience is producing something. Esther, nobody knew her until she became queen. Daniel, Joseph, everybody that you can think of, there was always a time and a season. And whenever it was their appointed time to arise and be revealed, they were ready, because they had allowed God to prepare them in the night season. The night season is a season when nobody sees you. It's a season when nobody knows you. God is forging you. God is shaping you. God is removing the dross. He's removing the stuff. He's increasing your capacity. And so the person that got the vision is not the person that will carry out the vision. Our life goes through phases of be, do, have. There are things that we want to have, but we have to become the person that can do the things that can give us the things that we want. And so I am going to continue with the 7 phases of divine development, so we know how to operate. So last Friday I started with the awakening phase. Listen to Friday. I'm not going to go back through it. Listen to Friday, and then you will know what the awakening phase is. I want to go into the 2nd phase of divine development. There was so much to each phase that you literally need to rewatch. So I'm going to begin with 5 signs that you're ready for your next phase. 5 signs that you're ready for your next phase. Every phase has an assignment. God doesn't move us because time has passed. He moves us because something is being formed within us. And the greatest evidence that we're ready for the next phase is not our circumstances changing, it's the fact that we have changed. I know the phases that I've gone through, it is because I shifted. It wasn't because my circumstances changed. It was because I shifted. And so 5 signs that you know you're ready for the next phase is: number 1, your vision becomes stronger than your fears. At the beginning of the awakening phase, fear will speak very, very loudly. It will speak so loudly. But as God begins to develop you, something will begin to shift. The fear may still be there, but it will no longer control your decisions. And your confidence will not be in your ability. It will be in your ability to be led by God. You'll begin to hear differently. You'll begin to walk differently. When your vision becomes greater than your fear, it means you are ready to move forward. Many people are in a transition phase. Number 1, they don't even know they're in a transition phase. And number 2, they don't know how to recognize that they're in a transition phase. So how you know you're going from one place to another, from one phase to another, is that fear will no longer be controlling you. You will want to now be led by God. You will want to now listen intently to what God is doing. The vision that God has given you will be greater than your fear. That's how you know you're ready to move. If fear is still speaking louder than the vision, if fear is still speaking louder than the vision, it means that you're not ready to move forward to the next phase. Number 2, good morning. If you're just joining, you have stopped looking for quick results. One of the clearest signs of maturity is patience. You will stop looking for shortcuts. You will stop chasing overnight success. You won't ask, how quickly can this happen? You will be asking, how am I prepared? How can I prepare? You will understand that whatever you're going to do, wherever you want success, whether it's in a relationship, in a business, in a ministry, in your career, in your life, you will understand that it is built. It is not borrowed. It is built. And you must embrace the process and trust what God is producing in that process. Number 3, your habits will reflect your future. It's easy. It is so easy to talk about where you are going. It is harder to live like the person who belongs there. When your daily habits begin reflecting your future rather than your past, something has changed. Something has changed. You begin praying differently, learning differently, managing your time differently, stewarding your finances differently. You will begin leading differently, and you will no longer be waiting for life to change before you change your habits. And number 4, you'll be more committed than you are excited. It is so, we get so excited. Oh, God prophesied, this happened, that happened, and we get so excited. But you have to transition from excitement to commitment. Excitement to commitment, because everything requires a sacrifice. Anything great requires a sacrifice. It is going to, I was talking to somebody yesterday and I was saying, you should be at this place by now. And they were saying that they know, but initially they thought they didn't have the capacity for it. And then God has been speaking to them, and then they realized that, do you know what? They spend a lot of time watching TV. They spend a lot of time scrolling on social media. And so they realize they do have the capacity. They're just not managing their time well. So many of us say we don't have the capacity for more, but you absolutely do. God did not create you to just be limited. But it really is down to you how much of your capacity you increase. How much I was having a conversation after church yesterday with some of the women. And I was just saying to them, you don't realize how much capacity you have until you start to look at the amount of roles that you are playing, the amount of hats that you're wearing. And when you look at, some of you are wives, mothers, business women, career women, everybody's a daughter. You're wearing so many hats. And that means that you have more capacity than you actually realize. You have more capacity. So you have to now begin to, so good morning to those of you that are just joining. I'm continuing what I began last week, because I want to finish these. Good morning, Sister Lillian. I want to finish these 7 phases, because where we're going to next, you need to understand the phases, the patterns, the precepts of God, so you understand and you can locate yourself and you know where you are. So I'm gonna so from the 1st of August, Mindset Mornings will be on a sabbatical, because there are things that God has shown me that where the direction of Mindset Mornings is going. So we'll be back I think the 14th of August, whatever that Monday is, the second week of August. Anyway, the second week of August. So I want to finish the 7 signs of divine development. I'm going to finish that. So what I'm talking about right now is the 5 signs that you are that you're moving to your next level. 5 signs. And so the 4th sign is that you are more committed than you are excited, because excitement will start the journey, but it is commitment that will finish it. If you stay excited, yes, for 2 weeks, because I need to put things in place for the Mindset Mornings 2.0. Mindset Mornings 2.0. So need to put some things in place. So I just need some time to be able to do that. And also it is the holidays. I want to at least spend a week with my children. So we'll be back on the 14th. I need to double check the 14th. So from the 1st to the 14th. As time passes, good morning, Sister Karen. As time passes, excitement always fades. It is commitment. Whenever I'm working on a project, at the beginning, it's very, very exciting. And then I always say this, it feels like I'm giving birth. Because you have to understand, when God gives you something, you have to bring it to manifestation. So it literally feels like giving birth, and you have to stay committed. Otherwise, that thing will not happen. It won't happen. And there will be dejection, there will be rejection, there'll be closed doors, all of these things, but you have to remain committed. So you have to continue showing up. You have to continue learning, continue growing. That's how you know you're shifting to the next level, because you have a understanding of the commitment. It's not because of inspiration. It's because you have decided to be obedient more than emotion. More than emotion. And number 5, you are ready to be developed, not just promoted. This is the greatest sign of all. You are no longer praying, Lord, promote me. You are saying to God, Lord, prepare me for my next. Everybody is I believe every one of you is at a transition period. And what you do in this transition period will determine what you have next, what you do next, who you become next. Everybody, because the transition period happens at any moment. It's any moment when you decide to stop and really begin to look at and audit your life. You begin to stop and you look at, if I continue like this, if I continue doing what I'm doing, I'm going to keep having what I'm having. Something has to change. Something has to change. And you're going to have to wake up one day and say, is this what I want for my life? If it is not, then you have to start paying attention. What needs to shift? What do I need to do? Where do I need to be? What information do I need? You need to start asking those questions. Otherwise, if you don't stop, I stopped for the last couple of weeks. I've been saying to God, what is it that you want for Mindset Mornings? Where is it? I've just finished doing an audit for an organization. And for me, it's so important for us to audit. Is what you're doing working? Where is it leading? How will you know that you're transitioning to the next level if you don't stop to check? Do a check. Do a check. And then when you do a check, you will realize wherever God is taking you to, there's preparation that is required. It's like going on a journey and not bringing any water, not bringing any food, not telling anybody where you're going, not even knowing where you're going. You're just going. Nobody lives life like that. Nobody sends their children without the provision. And that is preparation. What do you need to put in place for your next? What do you need to put in place for your life? What do you need to put in place for your relationship? What do you need to put in place for your business? What do you need to put in place? What do you need to put in place? So that's the awakening phase. When you wake up and you say, the definition of insanity, they say, is when you keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. Something has to shift. Something has to change. And the awakening phase, as I close out the awakening phase, if you missed the awakening phase, then watch the replay. It should be on my YouTube channel. Watch the replay. So when you close out, closing out the awakening phase is when everything begins. Because it's the moment God begins to open your eyes to the possibility. Wherever you are now, there is bigger. Wherever you are now, and one of my favorite scriptures is Ephesians 3:20. Why? It says, God will do the exceedingly and abundantly above all you could ask or think. And in the Amplified version, it said it will do super abundantly, more than you could ever dream about, more than you can ever think about. He wants to do that. The Bible says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what God has prepared for those that love him. I keep saying there is a prepared place for you. There is a prepared place. But if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting the same results. There is a prepared place for you. God has prepared something great for you. That's why I don't play with obedience. Don't play with obedience, because instead of us trying to figure things out, why don't you go and why don't you be obedient to the first instruction, to the second instruction? Because it's going to lead you to the prepared place. Instead of trying to do things your own way, figuring out things in your own way, telling God, I'm not ready, I can't do this, I can't do that. The awakening phase is when you stop doing all of that and you allow God to open your eyes to possibility. You allow God to open your eyes to possibility, because when you allow God to awaken you, that's when he can begin to prepare you for your prepared place. And that's when you will then move into the preparation phase. And that's where I'm going to begin today, is the preparation phase. So what is the preparation phase? The preparation phase is the season where God develops your capacity before he will enlarge your responsibility. So the preparation phase, this is where we can think God is not listening. This is where you can be praying and it may feel like God is not answering, because you're in the preparation phase. It is the phase where it looks like nothing is happening. It looks like there's no opportunities. It just looks like business isn't growing, ministry isn't expanding. You're in the job and you're like, why am I still in this job? I want to leave this job. You may be in the preparation phase. And the preparation phase is where God does his greatest work, because it looks like nothing is happening. It looks like nothing is happening. And you're showing up in your job. You're showing up in church. You're showing up in your business. You're showing up. But it looks like you're not reaping the rewards for the showing up. It looks like that. But the preparation phase is not that God is withholding. The preparation phase is the phase where God is building you so you can sustain what he has prepared for you. Because if he just gave it to you without building your capacity, you would lose it. For example, if you have a ministry to women and God doesn't prepare you, you haven't dealt with your emotions, you haven't dealt with your limiting beliefs, you haven't dealt with rejection, you haven't dealt with soul wounds. My gosh, you get in front of those women, somebody triggers you, you will explode on those women, you will bleed on those women. Why? Because you haven't allowed God to prepare you. Don't run into things where God has not prepared you, because not only will you damage yourself, you will damage those women. And that's just an example. It could be in business, it could be anything. It could be anything. God has time. It's us that are in a rush. God has time. God has time. God celebrates maturity. What does the Bible say? When you stop taking milk and you will have the hard stuff, God celebrates maturity. We celebrate arrival. Everybody wants to arrive. Everybody. God values preparation. We celebrate platforms. God is developing people, and preparation feels slow. It feels frustrating. It's because the foundations need to be built. Nobody is celebrating foundations. Why? Because nobody can see foundations. Every overnight success had 20 years of preparation and foundations. Every great building is not built on sand, is not built on straw. Do you remember the 3 little pigs? The house that stood was the one that was built by bricks. Many people are building houses on sand and straw. There's no foundation, but they want to rush. Every great building. The reason why we still have Barclays, Marks and Spencers, all of these great brands is because they were built on strong foundations. The brands that were built fast with no foundations, the ones that scaled fast have gone into bankruptcy. They've gone into bankruptcy. The same is true of our lives. God will rather spend years preparing you than allowing one opportunity to destroy what he wants to establish. So the prepared place for you is already there. But every instruction that God is giving you now is to prepare you for the prepared place. That's why, as I said, it's non-negotiable to hear the instructions. To hear the instructions, listen to the instructions that he's given through the men and women of God that he has introduced you to. Why? These instructions are not there to limit you or hold you back. They're there to prepare you so you don't destroy yourself, destroy your destiny, and destroy others. Don't ever mistake preparation for punishment. Don't ever mistake preparation for delay. Preparation is proof that God is invested in you. He's invested in you. God trusts you, and he is taking you closer to what he has for you. So 7 signs that you are in the preparation phase. Number 1, you know where you're going, but you haven't arrived yet. The vision is clear, but the opportunities are not there. You know what God has spoken, but you don't know when or how it will happen. And this creates tension because your tomorrow, you can see your tomorrow, but you are living in today. But don't become discouraged. This gap is where your capacity is being built. Number 2, you feel like you're growing more than you're progressing. You're learning, you're reading, you're doing all the courses, you're doing everything, you're developing, you're changing, you're healing. You're thinking, are we not done yet? Do you remember the film Are We There Yet? You're saying to God, am I not there yet? I've prayed, I've destroyed altars, I've done, am I not there yet? That's when you know you're in the preparation phase. And externally, people may see nothing. They may see nothing on you. They'll even be questioning. They'll be questioning your God. They'll be questioning what you believe. They'll be questioning why are you doing what you're doing. They'll be questioning because they can't see anything. They can't see what's going. But don't underestimate invisible growth. Don't underestimate and don't judge anybody else because you don't know what God is preparing them for. You don't know where God is taking them. You may think, well, they should be here by now. They should be doing this by now. But they may just be in a preparation phase. And the greatest transformations happen before anybody notices. You only see the fruit, but you don't see the tree growing. You don't see the roots underneath. You just see the fruit. How do we've got loads of fruit in our garden. The kids were picking. We've got blackberries, we've got figs, we've got apples, we've got pears, we've got tomatoes. We've got so much. But during the winter, you can't see anything. You can't see anything. I didn't even know that we had that amount of fruit in our garden. And then yesterday, the kids, oh, mommy, there's blackberries, there's this, there's that. Now we can see the fruit. But we didn't see when the seeds were planted. We didn't see when it was growing. It looked bare. It looked like there was nothing going on in the garden. but now the fruit is coming. So when you see people arrive, when you see people arise, all you are seeing is the fruit, but you never saw the wind, the rain, what was going, the storms that they had to go through, and still stand. So don't judge anybody. Don't judge anybody because you can't see the fruit yet. The fruit is coming. That's how you know you are in your preparation season as well. You may not see the fruit. The people may not be eating from your fruit yet. It's because the roots are going underground before they are producing. Number 3, God keeps stretching you. Every challenge feels slightly bigger than the last. God loves you. So he's not going to give you major challenges, but every challenge you pass, he will give you, it will be a bit bigger, a bit more responsibility. Start with a little prayer here. Then you're going to be asked to do a bit more there. Then you're going to be asked to do a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. And you're going to be thinking, but Lord, I'm just about doing the first thing that you sent to me. When God is using the men and women of God in your life to stretch you, to challenge you, it is because God is preparing you for your prepared place. Don't despise the instructions. Don't say, why me? Please take that out of your vocabulary. If you're being asked, it means God is preparing you for your prepared place. He's preparing you. Every assignment, every challenge, God is requiring you to step out in faith and to trust him a little bit more. You see, all of us have been given a measure of faith. Every time you step out and obey the instruction, that your measure of faith gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You see, you're not there. You don't want to take a leap of faith. It's not really a leap. We all have a measure of faith. And every time you answer an instruction, you do something that you've never done before, your measure of faith gets bigger because you trust God. You realize that nothing happened to you. Nothing happened to you. So you begin to trust God a bit more. And plus, every time God asks you to do something, and when I say God is asking you to do something, he will use men and women of God. Everything is about relationships. He will use men and women of God to give you instructions. Every time you say yes, you are increasing your discipline. You're building your muscles. Anybody gone to the gym before? What happens at the gym? Your muscles are nothing until you start going to the gym. You may be having all of these parts that are shaking, so to speak. But when you go to the gym, what happens? Every repetition starts toning things up, starts building muscle. So every time you obey an instruction, what are you doing? You're toning yourself up. You are building muscle. So then that's why you'll be able to stand. That's why you'll be able to speak. That's why your business will shift trajectory, because you have taken the time to build the muscle. But if you don't build the muscle, if you keep avoiding that gym, if you keep avoiding the gym of life, what will happen? Those bits will stay the way they are. You will stay the way you are if you don't. So God is stretching your capacity because he does not want to leave you where you are. He knows what he put inside of you. He knows what he formed inside of you. I'm telling you, my life is a testament of the instructions that I have obeyed. I can tell you that. It is a testament to the instructions that I have obeyed. There are things that I have done that I didn't know I could do until somebody asked me to do it. And then it opened floodgates that I didn't even know was there. You see, you could just be one instruction away from the floodgates opening. But somebody can come to you, give you an instruction, tell you something, and you will say, I don't have capacity. I don't have capacity. And it is that instruction. You see, Esther, it was the instructions of Mordecai that saved the nation. Ruth, it was the instructions of Naomi that got her husband, got her in the lineage of Jesus. It was an instruction. It was an instruction. God never gave Ruth instruction. It was Naomi. God never gave Esther instruction. It was Mordecai. It was somebody. Elijah and Elisha. Elijah said, if you're still here, when I'm taken up to glory, you will have double portion. So that was an instruction. It was an instruction. God is stretching your capacity because he doesn't want to leave you at this level, because he knows what he has prepared for you. You can't see the extent of what God has for you, but it's locked up inside of you. And it is the instructions that are the key. It is the instructions that you obey that unlock your next level. You're there trying to figure things out. Lord, I need this. Lord, I need that. But have you obeyed the instruction? And the instruction is going to look like nothing like what God has prepared for you. It ain't going to look like it. It's not going to look like it. But there's something in that. God could be testing your obedience, could be testing your discipline, could be testing your patience, could be testing your resilience, could be testing your resolve. You see, one thing I realized, the danger of offense. The danger of offense. You see, somebody said something to me and I was spitting feathers for about 3 days. I was spitting feathers for about 3 days. And after the third day, it was like God said to me, have you finished? Have you? Because I was ranting. I didn't rant to anybody. I was ranting to God. Because I've learned, don't go and open your mouth to people. When you're ranting, you take it to God. It's the safest place to take it. And then God was like, have you finished? And then God said to me that the reason why he allowed that to happen and the reason why it triggered me is because there was something still unresolved in me that he needed to get out. That he needed to get out of me. That's why offense is dangerous. Because whatever is triggering you, it just means there's something that is unhealed that God needs to resolve, because if you carry that to your next level, it could destroy you. Because things can hide in you. And until somebody pokes that thing, you won't even realize that it's even there, because it's buried so deep. But it could get triggered, and you're standing in front of 2,000 people and it gets triggered. Somebody criticizes you and it gets triggered. Somebody rejects you and it gets triggered. Yes, take your rant to God. And it gets triggered. So God loves you too much. So don't get offended. Ask God, why was I triggered? Seriously, ask God, why was I triggered? Take your rant to God. Why was I triggered? Don't hold that person up in your heart. Trust me. Don't hold that person up in your heart. Don't, because it is a gateway for the enemy. It's just an open door for the enemy. Don't allow offense to fester in your heart. Take it to God and ask God, what are you showing me? What are you teaching me? What do I need to learn? Because God will deal with that person. Don't worry about that. If that person is in the wrong, let God correct them. Let God deal with that. Let God deal with it. So that was obviously for somebody, because it wasn't something that I had planned. Number 4, you keep returning to the classroom. God will keep teaching you the same lessons until it becomes your nature. Humility, patience, stewardship, faithfulness, forgiveness, excellence. If the lesson keeps returning, don't ask why, Lord, again. If the same people keep coming around you, don't ask God why again. What is it you haven't learned? When I was unsaved, I realized that I kept attracting the same people. And I couldn't figure out why I was attracting the same people. When I got saved, when I started working on me, or God started working on me, I stopped attracting those people. Why? Because I changed. You realize that you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So if you're saying, why do I keep attracting these same people? There is something in you that is attracting them. And the people that you do want, there's something in you that's repelling them. You're not saying the right things. You're not operating in the right way. And so you won't be invited into those rooms, into those conversations, into those places. So everything begins and ends with you. You want to go to your next level. There are things that you stop asking, things that you stop doing, places that you stop going. You don't ask why again. What have I not yet learned? What God wants to change your story. But to change your story, you have to change your language. You need to change your language. You need to tear down those strongholds, those limiting beliefs. And when I say limiting beliefs, I'm talking about beliefs that you have been holding onto that don't serve you. Every one of us has beliefs that we're holding onto that don't serve us. Every one of us has them. That's why it's good. You need to take stock. You need to do an audit. What have I been believing that is holding me back? I have really great women around me, real powerful women, real women that are trailblazers, that are doing amazing things. When I'm around them, I listen intently. Do you know what I listen to? I listen to what they believe. I listen to how they think. I listen because it comes out in their language. It comes out in what they say. Listen to somebody that is doing great things. You will hear how they think. You will hear the beliefs that they believe. One of my friends, she has a belief that she was speaking this belief to my daughter actually. And I was like, my gosh, that's a belief I want to take up. I actually want to have that. So what she was speaking to my daughter was something that was a belief that she wanted my daughter to hold on to because she believed that it was going to hold her in good stead when she got older. Those are the kind of people that you need in your life. Those are the kind of people that you need speaking over your life and over your children. But it also happens in the negative. You know, I've had family members saying to my children, oh, you're so naughty. I don't speak that over my child. They're not naughty. They may be displaying a certain behavior at a certain time, but you are not going to label my children. And so old school aunties and uncles, that's how they spoke. But I don't want, because what happens, that will then become a belief. That will then become a belief. My son believes he's gonna be a goat. He's gonna be the best this and the best that. And I've talked about my daughter. She will never accept sickness. She will never say I'm sick, because that's the beliefs that they're holding. And the beliefs that you hold as a child can go with you all the way through adulthood. There are some beliefs that you've taken on as a child that God is telling you, don't hold on to that anymore. Don't hold on to that anymore. So it happens in the negative as well as in the positive. And so these beliefs will keep you going around the mountain. It is your belief system that will keep you going around the mountain. So don't ask why again. Say, what have I not learned? What beliefs am I holding onto that no longer serves me? What am I thinking about my life, about God, about people, about church, about relationships, about men, about women, about children, about work, about my career, about my boss, about my colleagues? What are you believing? Because it comes out when you speak. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So with me, trust me, when we have a conversation, I'm listening intently. I'm listening to what you believe. I'm listening to what you think, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. I'm listening. God is also listening. The enemy is also listening. Everybody is listening. So be careful. Be careful. So don't keep asking why again. Ask, what have I not yet learnt? What have I not yet learned? Number 5, you are becoming consistent. Preparation replaces emotional living with disciplined living. You stop depending on motivation and you will begin to build habits. You will begin to become reliable. You will continue whether people applaud or not. Consistency is one of the clearest signs that preparation is working, because you're not worried about the people. You're not worried about that anymore. Number 6, you begin valuing character more than recognition. You will stop asking who's noticing me, and you will ask, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? Because your private life will matter more than your public image. And you will realize that influence is sustained by integrity, because you can't be out there and behind the scenes. I remember listening to somebody, and they said, I think it was Dr. Temi Tope that said that she was, or somebody was counseling someone, and they were estranged from their mum. And what they didn't understand was their mum was one way in church, but at home, they said she was like a demon at home. And so God has to build you in private. I would rather be built in private than be built publicly. So we don't rush to the public platform without allowing God to build us privately. You see, if you rush, for example, I'll use Mindset Mornings as an example. If God had not and is still building me and preparing me, I would do Mindset Mornings, and after a month, I'd probably burn out. Or maybe after 3 months, I'd probably burn out and I would stop showing up. Or I'd start making excuses. Oh, yeah, I'll show up maybe on Thursday. Yeah, I'll show up maybe next week, Tuesday. That's because I rushed into it without being prepared. Without being prepared. If God had not been building my character, my integrity, my sustainability, my resilience, I would not have been able to do Mindset Mornings for as long as I have been doing it for. It's because God has been building me privately. So when God gives you something, it's not about rushing into it. It's about allowing God to prepare you. Allowing God to prepare you. Number 7, closed doors no longer discourage you. Early on, every no will feel personal. Every person that doesn't buy, every person that doesn't sign up, every person that doesn't come on Mindset Mornings, for example, it will feel personal. But as you mature, you will realize that not every closed door is rejection. Some of it is protection. Some of it is redirection. Some of it is the right timing. They're not the right people. So preparation teaches you, don't force what God has not yet opened. Don't get your crowbar and try to force that door open. There is a reason. There is a reason. There is a reason. So preparation is where our dreams and our visions and our desires, because they're great. You may have a desire to be an author, to write, to have a business, or to be £1 million business owner. All of these, they're great. They're great visions. You may even tell everybody, yeah, I'm this and I'm that. That's great. But have you allowed God to prepare you? Because it's not just going to happen. And I don't know where we have this mindset that we think things just happen. Nothing just happens. It's like thinking that you want a summer body. You want a beautiful body for summer. And think that you can just go to the gym once and you are going to get that summer body. It don't work like that. No matter what it is, there is a process, there is a sacrifice, there is a preparation to everything. So this phase is where your calling is being built by capacity. So 5 things God is doing in your preparation phase. When God is preparing you, it's not just him getting you ready for your next assignment. He is transforming you. You are becoming. He is transforming you into somebody who can carry wisdom, humility, and excellence. But if you only focus on what you can see, if you only think nothing is happening, you will miss it. So it's so important to understand this phase. Understand this phase. Because some of you may just be starting on your journey of ministry, of business, or taking your career to the next level. Understand this phase. Number 1, God is building your capacity. God is building your capacity. God is not going to give you an assignment that he has not first prepared you to carry. God is not an irresponsible God. Capacity is your ability to sustain responsibility without you becoming overwhelmed. That is what capacity is. Capacity is your ability to sustain responsibility without you becoming overwhelmed. I realized that God has truly increased my capacity, and he is still increasing my capacity. I have 4 biological children, but then God is bringing me other people to mentor, to nurture, to help, to assist. If God doesn't increase my capacity, I will say no. I will say no. I will say, sorry, I can't help you. I've got too much going on. I can't do it. Sorry. But when God begins to increase your capacity, this is my running joke with God, because I don't think I'm very maternal. But yet I have 4 children. And it's my running joke with God. But I realize those children have taught me about capacity. They have taught me about capacity. Honestly, they have taught me about capacity. They've taught me how to organize myself. They've taught me how to manage. They've taught me so much. They have taught me so much. And so whatever God brings into your life, he is increasing your capacity. It means that you actually have the capacity to do it. You think you can't, but you have the capacity to do it. So if you want more influence, it's going to require greater wisdom. You want more finances, it's going to require greater stewardship. You want more leadership, it's going to require greater emotional maturity. You want more visibility, it's going to require greater integrity. So God knows what he is about to place into your hands. And it is far heavier than what you are carrying today. So the way I talk to myself, this is how I talk to myself. I said, Patrice, if you get overwhelmed now, how are you going to handle the more that God has shown you? How are you going to handle it? And then I think about women that have more children than me, that are trailblazing, that are handling so much more than me. And I said, Patrice, be quiet. Stop making excuses. Be quiet. You just haven't increased your capacity enough. And so let's stop shutting down what God wants to do in our lives. Let's stop shutting it down. Let's stop saying I don't have capacity, because you have more capacity than you realize. There are people that are doing 10, 15, 100 times more than you are right now. But that is because they have allowed themselves room to grow and to be disciplined. They're doing these things. So don't ask, why is it taking so long? God wants to enlarge your capacity. That's why in the Bible, Isaiah 54:2, he spoke to the barren women. So he spoke to the women that it looked like nothing was happening. That's who he spoke. That's who he was speaking to. The women that it looked like nothing was happening. He said, you barren woman, enlarge the place of your tent. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Because what I'm about to do with you, you need capacity. You need to make room for what I am about to bring to you. He said, sing, O barren woman. He said, sing. Some of you need to begin to praise and thank God for what God is about to do in your life. He's telling you today, enlarge, make room for me. Make room. Your life may look like nothing has been happening, but enlarge. Stop asking, why is this taking so long? God, what capacity are you building in me? Number 2, God is developing your character. Gift will open a door, but it's character that determines whether you remain in a room. Character is who you are becoming when nobody is watching. It is your integrity. It is your humility. It is your faithfulness. It is your honesty. It is your consistency. It is your ability to keep your word. So we can be developing our skills. There are so many people that are gifted, talented, but they have no character. They have no character. But God will do the opposite. He has to develop your heart first. He knows the success he has prepared for you. And so he wants your character to match your calling. And so don't underestimate trustworthiness, faithfulness, loyalty. God will entrust greater responsibility to people he can trust. Number 3, God is strengthening your foundation. The higher God intends to take you, the deeper your roots must go. The higher the tree. Imagine, we've got some huge trees around us. Do you know the roots? How deep those roots? Because if those roots don't go deep, what will happen? The tree will fall. Any storm, any hurricane, that tree will fall. The roots have to be so deep. So the higher that God is taking you, the deeper the roots. So don't despise these beginnings. Don't despise the preparation phase. The longer your preparation even means the deeper the roots are going, because the higher you are going to go. Don't underestimate your suddenly. Just do what needs to be done in your preparation phase. Because there is always going to be a suddenly. There is always going to be a day when God is going to tell you it's time to arise. There is always going to be a day when God is going to reveal you. But he cannot do it if your roots are not deep. So foundations are invisible. Nobody's going to be celebrating you. Nobody's going to be applauding you. Your prayer life, your values, your disciplines, your convictions, your relationship with God, your emotional health. These are the foundations that are going to support your future success. Can you please go and get ready? Because as soon as I finish mindset mornings, we'll be going. I'm in the middle of mindset mornings. Sorry?
Should I pack my toothbrush?
No. All right. So, the people who collapse under pressure is not because of failure. It's because, and it isn't because the opportunity was too great. It is because the foundations were not built strong enough. They just weren't strong enough. Because storms will come. Trust me, storms will come. Things will come. Are your roots deep enough? Are your roots deep enough? Are your roots deep enough? The reason why we could chop and change what we're doing, because the roots are not deep enough. The roots are not deep enough. Number 4, God is teaching you stewardship. Before God will increase what you have, He's watching to see how you manage what you already have. What do you have in your possession? What are you calling small? What are you... And I remember my pastor talking about this. If you can't look after your car, why should God give you a new car? If you can't look after the house that you have now, why should God bless you with a new house? Whatever God has given you, I call it managing. I don't own anything. I'm managing. I'm managing what God has entrusted to me. My children, I don't own my children. God has given me the honor of stewarding these children. These are 4 destinies that God has given me the privilege and the honor of stewarding. That's how I think about things. Mindset mornings, God has given me the honor of speaking. I can't come and chat rubbish. I can't come and I just can't. Because it's an honor. What do you... And so that's another reason why I show up. Because it's an honor. How can God give me more if I can't show up for the people that he has given to me now? If I can't show up for the people that he's given, if I look and say, oh, there's not enough people on here, God, I want to speak to 1,000 people. The calling that you've given me is for 1,000 people. God will tell me to go and sit down. It means I'm not ready. It means I'm not ready. As I said at the beginning, Bishop T.G. Jakes had 11 people for 5 to 10 years. Pastor Matthew of KICC, he said he had 10 people in his church for years. In his church. His whole church. All the equipment, everything, he used to have in the back of his car. When people ask, where's your church? He said, it's in the back of my car. Trust me, when you see people that are blazing, trust me, they managed what God gave them. The small seed that God gave them, they managed it. They nurtured it. They cultivated it. They planted it. In fact, God is watching how you manage your time. Don't tell me you don't have capacity, but you have capacity to scroll, to watch, to chat. Don't tell me you don't have capacity. How are you managing your time? How are you managing your finances? Don't tell me you don't have money. Because I always say this to everybody. People buy what they value. People buy. We pay for things that we value. We don't have no problem spending £50, £100 to go out to eat. But we won't invest that in a course, in mentorship, in coaching. We will say we don't have money. We will spend how much on hair. We will spend how much on gadgets and things and this and that. It is based on what you value. So how are you managing your finance? God is telling you to go and start something. You're saying you don't have money. Really? Where is the money going? Is it on shoes? Is it on bags? Is it on clothes? Is it on hair? Is it to look good? You got to... How do you manage your time? How do you manage your finances? How are you treating people? How are you treating people? How do you handle small responsibilities? The little instruction that you have been given, how are you handling it? Oh, you're saying I don't have time, I don't have capacity. How are you because God is watching all of this stuff. He's watching to see how you're handling it. How do you respond when nobody is watching? Because trust me, I always say this to my kids. I always threaten them. Look, I may not see, but then I do tell them. I tell them, Mommy can see everything. I know when you've taken snacks from the cupboard. They're like, Mommy, how do you know? I said, I know. How do you know? But I always tell them, God tells me everything. I say, God can see everything. God can see. And it's God that is telling me. So how are you responding when nobody is watching? That's what I threaten my kids with. God can see. Faithfulness is heaven's qualification of increase. Be faithful with what God has given you. Be faithful with the instructions. If you cannot steward the instructions today, the opportunities today, you cannot see tomorrow's opportunities. You cannot. You just can't. If you can't steward today. Preparation teaches you nothing is insignificant. There's nothing. I want you to begin to audit. What instructions have you heard? Who has God told you to be around? What has God been saying to you about your next? What is God? Every assignment matters. Every instruction matters. Every opportunity matters. Every act of faithfulness matters. Number 5, God is teaching you dependence on Him. In the preparation season, in your preparation season, where it looks like nothing is going on, it looks like you can't even fulfill the thing that God has called you to fulfill, it is because you're not going to do it in your own strength. If you can do it in your own strength, it means you don't need God. And if you can do it in your own strength, it means your vision is too small. And I will say it, and I will keep saying it. If you can do it single-handedly, without a team, without God, your vision is too small. Your vision is too small. It's just too small. It's just too small. And so, when you're in the preparation phase, preparation will expose your limitations, and it will place you in places where your education is not enough, your experience is not enough, connections, confidence are not enough. It is not to discourage you. It is to remind you that your source is Him. Your source is Him. You know, I have begun to embrace the fact that I don't know everything. I have embraced the fact that when God is giving me an instruction, I've learned to trust the fact that if I'm getting the instruction, that means I have the capacity to fulfill it. I need to trust him, ask him, how do I do this thing? Open the eyes of my understanding. One of the best prayers that you can ever pray is for revelation. It's one thing I've learned. The best prayers you can ever pray is for God to reveal. For God to reveal. So you're not walking around in darkness. So you can see what is happening around you. So you can see what your next step. And I'm talking about this whether you're in business, in ministry. This is not spiritual something. Ask God for revelation. I ask God for revelation about my ceremonies. I ask God for revelation about my business. I ask God for revelation. I ask God for, when I'm speaking to non-Christians, I ask God for revelation. I ask God for revelation. The best prayer is revelation. Let God open your eyes so you can see what you have never seen before. I'm telling you, depend on God, because he knows your gift. He knows every opportunity. He knows the victory. And everything comes from grace. I'm able to do what I do because of grace. Because of grace. There is a grace that God has given you. For some of you, it's for business. For some of you, it's for ministry. For some of you, it's to pray. For some of you, it's to intercede. For some of you, it's the gift of hospitality, of helps. There is a grace that you have. Don't look at what somebody else is doing. They have the grace to be able to do it. They have to. When people come to me and say, oh, you got 4 children. Yes, I got 4 children. God has given me the grace. He has given me the grace for it. Whatever God has given you, trust me, you have the grace to do it. I want you to be able to lean into that. Because that's where your anointing is. That's where your breakthrough is. That's where the flow is. It's in that grace. But you will not know unless you begin to depend on him. You will not know unless you begin to ask him. Inquire of the Lord. When the enemy came for David, the first thing, his team, his army turned on him. Everybody turned on him. The first thing he did was to go and inquire of the Lord. Lord, what do I do next? Do I chase after these people? God said, pursue. You're going to pursue, you're going to overtake, and you are going to recover all. Your next instruction is going to be the thing that opens the door. Your next instruction. God may give it to you directly, or he may give you an answer through somebody else. But seek instruction. Seek him. Seek him. The preparation phase is one of the most important phases, because this is where your roots are going deep before the fruit appears. This is what the preparation phase is, that phase where somebody appears as an overnight success. That's that preparation. The preparation phase was the phase where nobody knew them. When they were in the backside of the desert, when they were singing in the club, when they were doing the things behind the scenes, where they were praying and there was only 2 people in the prayer call. That was the preparation season. That was the preparation season. That was the preparation season. Preparation is not a waste. Preparation is not delay. Preparation is not denial. Preparation is not even God not speaking to you. God is just preparing you for your prepared place, because he loves you. Because he loves you. Because he loves you. So as usual, I haven't been able to get through all of this phase, but I'm going to continue with the phases tomorrow, because as I said at the beginning, from the 1st to the 14th of August, my ceremonies will be on a break. And it's not a break because I'm just chilling, although I'm going to spend a week with my children. God has given me a vision for what my ceremonies is going to look like post-break. And so I need some time to just prepare. So in that time, watch the replays. I have so many resources. Go into my website, get the resources. Also, the Foundry is going to be launching. I know those of you are on here, you've asked me about the Foundry. Don't worry, the information is coming out this week. Also, we have the Foundry Experience. Oh, I think the Foundry Experience is going to be on the 15th of August. What will be on my YouTube channel? What are you asking, Sister Lillian? What will be on my YouTube channel? The Foundry Experience. We've had one already, and it was so powerful. I've had somebody say to me that they want to do this for their birthday. So the Foundry, thank you. So the Foundry will be hosted in different locations. So we're always looking for hosts. If you would like to host a Foundry in your location, then let us know. But we're having the second Foundry Experience on the 15th of August. So that means we'll be back on the 17th of August. It'll be the 17th of August that we will be back. I realize the 14th is a Friday. Yes, the 14th is a Friday. So yes, we'll be back on the 17th of August. So from the 1st to the 17th. So everything, all of the Mindset Mornings, you'll be able to find on my YouTube channel. So you can watch the replays. My assistant is doing her best to get them out. But they will be on YouTube. Absolutely. Yes, it will be. It will be on my YouTube channel, and the audio will be on my website, so you can go and listen and get and watch the replay. So yes, so the Foundry begins. Is going to be starting during this break as well. So if you want more information on the Foundry, just what it is, it's going to be awesome. It has an academy, there's mentorship, there's the Foundry Experience. All of my guest speakers are mentors and teachers in the Foundry. It is our space. It is so powerful. Got Apostle Sam as a teacher, Dr. Sherlina, Dr. Temi Tope. So we have 3 phases of the Foundry. There's Renew Your Mind, there's Becoming, and there's Arise and Build. So if you are somebody that needs to gain more confidence, needs to break those limiting beliefs, needs to overcome certain things that you know are holding you back from arising and building, then you'll start and Renew Your Mind. If you've transitioned and you're in your becoming phase, you just need to build those deep roots. That's the becoming phase. Then you will go to that class. If you're in business, arising and building, then I have some speakers that have gone ahead and they will be helping take your business, your ministry, your career to the next level. If you want to get on boards, we have a webinar coming up with myself and Gisla on how to get onto boards, boards where you get paid, So there's lots happening. If you want more information, just reach out to me, trying to get this stuff out as quickly as possible. But yeah, so that's what's happening. So what I want to do, I said all of that really to say, I want to finish these phases, because the next level, the next phase, when we get back, oh my days, I'm so excited. I am so excited for the next phase. But we've got to get these phases, we've got to get this out so we understand what the patterns, the precepts, and the principles of God. That's so important. You need to understand how God works, so you stop dismissing what God is doing, so you stop speaking against what God is doing. You have to understand these phases. You have to understand how God moves us to our next level. It's not just confessing it. It's a phase. It's different phases that God takes us through. So, yes, this is going to be on YouTube. So if you want to watch it again, you want to listen to it again, you can. So God bless you. Have a fantastic day. Come back tomorrow for phase 3. Yeah, for phase 3. For phase 3, so you know what God is doing in your life. So God bless you. Have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless.